Exit 8 is a short but fun game with horror elements. In this game, you walk through a corridor with a man walking the other way, some posters on the left wall and some doors on the right wall. You'll need to see if everything is normal, and if it is, you can go ahead and walk forward to the next floor. If you notice something's off, you have to turn back and walk back the way you came from. Certain anomalies, like the door opening and the camouflaged man running at me, gave me a jump scare the first time I saw them. It's very important to look for the tiny details every time you enter the corridor, and to be quite honest, I just memorized a guide for all of the anomalies and then had fun playing it. I could not be bothered to figure out all of them myself. It's a super fun game, especially if you stream it to friends and try to find the anomalies together. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is the sequel to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which I played in 2023. I was super hyped for the sequel and bought it as soon as my wallet allowed me to. In this game you play as Turnip Boy and you join up with the Pickled Gang to rob a bank, but the bank holds more secrets than just hidden vaults. The sequel has roguelike elements and every run is tied to a timer, which creates a fun and addicting gameplay loop. You can get massive money yields per run, and seeing that number go up as you get upgrades feels good. Even though the genre of game is very different from the first game, I feel like Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is a good sequel. The story makes sense and elaborates well on the pre-existing world of the Turnip Boy franchise. I enjoyed spending my time in the game and seeing familiar faces while also meeting new ones. Among Us. Who doesn't know this game by now? This game was super popular in 2020 during quarantine, which is also the time that I played it most. I got this game on the Steam sale last year just for nostalgia, and at the start of March, me and my friend group decided we were going to play it again. Playing Among Us now, with the same friends, was such a throwback to quarantine times when we used to play this almost every day. It's still very stupid and silly, and has some added content now. A few maps, a new game mode, which is hide and seek, and also 2 cosmetics trees. Setting up your friends against each other is still hilarious. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a different gaming experience set in the same world as Ori and the Blind Forest. Between these two games they changed quite a bit and it does not always work in their favor. I personally preferred the upgrade system in the first game, as well as being able to manually save. The Hollow Knight-esque life shard upgrade system did not fully sit right with me, but I do really love the storyline and different abilities that you learn through the spirit trees along the way, and I feel like they did a good job on making the areas distinct from the first game. It truly does feel like a different environment, while also having that nostalgic feel of similar enemies and vibes. Giving Ori a sword is not something I was expecting, and the amount of combat in the second game was a bit too much for me in comparison to the first game. The NPCs were lovable characters though, and overall it's a good successor to Ori and the Blind Forest. Broken Age is a story-rich game with a lot of intriguing puzzles. I really loved how the story makes itself clear to the player around the end of Act 1 and finishes off the story with a nice ending. I don't want to go into the story too much, since it's really something you should experience for yourself. Just know that Shay and Vela are funny, lovable characters. I really liked the mechanic of being able to switch between these two characters at will. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of point-and-click movement systems, but for this game it works well enough, although I would have liked to move around with my keyboard arrows or a controller. I would definitely recommend this game though, since the story is what really makes it shine. Sheepy is a platformer game where you play as a sheep plushie moving through the ruins of an old work site. Sheepy may be a short platformer, but it left a deep impression on me. The music and sound design in this game are fantastic, the environment makes for beautiful visual storytelling, and the narrative is enigmatic and very well written. Slowly learning what may be going on in Sheepy's world through the notes and tapes left behind by workers is such a clever way to convey this story. The abilities you gain throughout the story work amazingly as well. I really loved this gem and I am very glad I found it. It's free on Steam, but if you want to support the developer, there is a supporter pack you can buy. I recommend you watch my Sheepy playthrough if you want to fully see how I felt while playing through the game. Power Hover is a fun little game that is perfect for on the go. I tried it on the Steam Deck and it works perfectly. I don't mind the difficulty spikes too much, I just think the bosses are very difficult, which suits the game quite well. I had a blast going through all the levels, and finding out there's a challenge mode to unlock some new characters using bolts was also awesome. Along the road of the regular levels you will also find portable music players, which show you part of the lore of the Power Hover world. This game has more content than it seemed to have at the start, and it's such a shame it's so underappreciated. I definitely recommend giving this game a try, because it's great fun. I'll be trying to perfect my boss runs while commuting. Overall, I have a mixed opinion of Hollow Knight. For some reason, my laptop did not like it. I suffered from input lag a bit while playing, and it really frustrated me. Turning VSync off helped me a lot with this problem, by the way, so after I disabled that, my laptop liked the game a bit more. Despite this little issue, I do really love the art, setting, and story this game offers. It made me want to continue playing, even in moments I considered quitting. One thing I would have liked is more benches in areas that have very few, but that's just a personal preference, and I see why the developers made it the way they did. I do recommend this game since most issues I have with the game were really on my end, so do play this difficult, beautiful Metroidvania. I'm definitely eagerly waiting for Silksong to come out alongside the other Hollow Knight fans, and I still have more than enough content to play through while we wait. Wow, the potential Helldivers has is massive. I can see now why they made Helldivers 2. I haven't played very much of Helldivers yet, but man do I love it. One issue I have is the shared camera feature, since if you get left behind you get put off camera and you can't see where you're going. Though that feature is awesome for couch co-op. But I do really love the upgrade trees in this game. They're absolutely amazing. I really wish they implemented the same system in Helldivers 2, but they had to make it somewhat different from their first game, I guess. Matchmaking works the same as in Helldivers 2, and I really like the progression system here, which consists of getting research points and using those in the upgrade trees. You get these research points by leveling up, and one for every 10 samples you find. I'm definitely planning on putting more hours into this game. It's a great alternative if you cannot afford Helldivers 2, and since the release of the sequel, I think it's gotten more attention. The player base gets a solid 2,000 players every day, so you'll always find someone to play with. Bluefire does not want to agree with me. The controls and abilities feel clunky, and even if I try to implement the tool I've been given in multiple ways, I still get the same clunky result. The game itself looks fine, it's nothing too memorable. I really like the voids though, and the story the game tells. For now, I will retire this game until I feel like coming back to it again in the future. If I play it again, I'll review it again as well. My experience left me extremely disappointed, since this is the very first game I've ever played that I do not want to roll credits on at the moment. For now, I won't recommend Bluefire. Unpacking is a very relaxing, beautiful game while also silently telling a story about the person you are unpacking the items for. Seeing them go through life is super interesting, since you never know what items from the previous move will still be with you in the next move. As someone who loves organizing and interior design, this game was made for me. It's super fun trying to find the best ways to store things while also trying to make things look pretty. This combined with the story of your protagonist makes this one of my favorite cozy games I've played so far. Alright, that's all 11 games I played in March. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to support me, like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day.